here with your weekly reading. So I've channeled in and asked Spirit for what's coming up over the next 7 days. Do remember that this is just a general time frame. So whenever you see this, it's for you and may extend a little bit further than 7 days. But again, just take what message resonates for the energy coming up of the week ahead. If this message isn't for you, that's okay. Just remember that you can book a personal reading if you want to dive deeper on something. But let's get started. So the underlying energy we have this week is the Nine of Swords. So there is a few of you that are still really anxious about a lot of things. There's a lot of anxiety coming up for you. It might not even be anything much, but just on the inside you might be feeling really anxious, almost like something's happening, there's a change, or you're not sure of what direction to go next, just feeling a little bit lost and confused. But it is really stressing you out and it is keeping you up at night. But the perk is that it's all in your head. And I say that so calmly, and Spirit's a little bit jokey about it, but it's true. Like, the only thing that is causing this anxiety is the thoughts and the beliefs that you're telling yourself. So it's just really advised to watch your headspace this week. That's sort of the underlying energy. So just keep an eye on your thoughts. As soon as you hear those thoughts saying, hey, like, I can't do this, or life is this and this is happening and whatever, every feeling and every thought is valid, but it's important to focus on where your energy is going, if it's worth giving energy to, and if it's not, let it go, okay? That is the underlying energy of the week ahead. So supporting that, wow. Okay, so starting off, we have the Two of Pentacles. Now, we have had a very, I wouldn't say bumpy few months with eclipses and full moons and super moons and new moons and changes of seasons. And it has stirred so much stuff up that we are now in a period of integration and balance, but also in a time of decision. So this coming week, it's really asking us to balance out. Like, look at these two cards together. You've got the Two of Pentacles, which is two is all about balance. So, 1, 2, and Temperance, which is light and dark. So this is really saying this week it's about balancing your energy, balancing your tempers, like not temper, but balancing your emotions, bringing everything back into a balanced level playing field, bringing your choices back into a more conscious intention rather than winging it. It's looking at what's weighing you down, what's lifting you up, where are you going too hot, where are you closing off. We have gone through a lot of change, and we are just being asked now to, rather than overthink it and wondering what is happening, which is just ego. It's just the ego saying, well, there's so much uncertainty, there's so much unknown. Yes, there is, but that's okay, because, you're just balancing out. You're coming back into you. Interesting. Ultimately, like I said, we've been shaken, we've been stirred. Again, as always, Spirit shows me the stick mixing up like the muddy water. I'm actually seeing like a cocktail mixer this time around. So, they put all the ingredients in, they mix it, and they put the strainer over the top. So that way, if there's any fruits or anything, you don't get the pulpy bits. It's just all the liquid. It's all the clear liquid. All the other residual stuff stays in the shaker. So that's kind of what is happened after these eclipses and everything. And now we are settling. We've been shaken, we've been strained, and now we are settling down to let everything simmer down and settle. So that's where this comes in. We're balancing out our energy, and then the Temperance comes in with balancing out our emotions. Healing, a very healing time and integrating. A lot of us have just gone through a major upgrade, especially with our connection to Spirit. I'm seeing like a lot of crown chakra activation here, and it can make us feel dizzy, it can make us feel ungrounded, it can make us feel disconnected. And that's why our ego freaks out, because it's like, well, I don't feel like I belong in the world right now. What's happening all around me? It feels like it's chaos. But, always just come back to your center, your heart space, because ultimately we are on our way to this 10 of Pentacles energy, this grounding, stable connection, wish fulfillment, whatever that is for you. This card signifies, like the happy family, like children and everything else. So if that is your happily ever after, that's in the works. It's coming, and also it's worth really honoring what it is you want. What does this Ten of Pentacles look like? What does this stability, this future look like for you? Is it husband, wife, children, dog, family, house? Is it sturdy career, good income? Is it traveling? Not that we can do a lot of that right now. Look at what brings you stability and safety. What makes you feel good in your life regardless of what's going on around you? That's the focus we want. When we get ourselves carried away with attaching to stories and things and detouring from our path of our desires, of our goals, that's when we become upended. That's when we become anxious. That's when we become even depressed. Some of you might be feeling that essence of depression. But just know that this is a time for rest and integration this week. Don't let your thoughts and stories let you get attached and carried away, because this is still the ultimate goal. This is still what is coming to you in dribs and drabs. And some of you, if you take a really close look, you'll notice that it's actually started. Spirit's like, take a look around, because it's actually starting to seep in, like, already. You might just be so busy up in your head that you're not noticing it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's all happening at once. It's just saying that maybe, like, again, if you want the relationship, maybe you've just recently met someone. Maybe you're talking to someone on a dating app, or you met someone when you went out recently. You know, pay attention, because this is Spirit sort of go, okay, look, here's a little bit, you know, here's a little bit extra of that puzzle that's going to make this whole thing. Again, if you want a job, maybe you just got a job interview, or you felt inclined to put your resume in for something. You are moving towards this. Don't let your ego think that you aren't, or create the stories that it's never going to happen, because that's the only thing that's creating this imbalance right now. It's the overthinking and the lack of trust. So we're very much in that mindset. It's like scrambled there. Like, I'm just seeing a bit like when you like slop, like like in those bad American movies when you go and put your tray and, you know, they just slop a big thing of like meat or something, and it's just like, and you're like, looks delicious, thanks. That's what your mindset is like right now for a lot of us. Like, we're just like, what is this? Because we're too busy looking outside. We're too busy listening to the stories and the beliefs and all the shit in our head, rather than going, this is a time of rest and integration. I don't need to be doing anything that doesn't feel good for me. I'll do what I have to do. I'll do what I feel like doing, because I know that's what's going to make me feel stable. That's going to keep me aligned with my goals. That's going to keep me aligned on my journey, and I deserve that. Okay, really focus this week, guys, on what's the word I'm trying to look for here? Watching those stories. Okay, watching the words and the noise in your head, because that's the thing that's going to make or break this transformative energy. Okay, it feels like we've said this a lot all year, and even last year, is that we are constantly ascending, we are constantly transforming, and it's happening so quick that we feel like we're always in this space of like, after the spin cycle, like we always come out of it. We're sort of not in the past, but we're not in the future. We're not quite really sure what's going on in the present. Our realities aren't matching our feelings. Like, it's just all a bit blah. So it can feel very confronting, it can feel very uncertain, and obviously there's lack of safety. So we want to find that stability, and that is within us always. So come back in, disconnect from socials. Don't get involved with the news and people and things that don't have positive or, you know, uplifting energy. So if that means you need to take a couple of days off or sleep or rest or whatever, do that. Really follow, because like I said, lots of balance here between emotions, between thoughts, feelings, letting go of the old, bringing in the new, integrating. So give it the time and the space, okay? We can't rush these processes. They can be very uncomfortable. They can be very annoying, but this is just saying it's a week of balance. So let it do its thing. Okay, you just keep your eye on the prize, which is your ultimate fulfillment, whatever that looks like. And any thoughts that come in, just let them go. They're just stories. We don't need to give them meaning. We cannot think our way through these times. Okay, we have to feel. So hand on heart, honor that. I hope that helps you guys. It's actually a really beautiful energy if you just relax and lean into it, which I know sounds easier said than done sometimes. But again, if it means disconnecting, turning the phone off, taking a day off work, whatever, do it. You will really, really favor and feel so much more uplifted when you stop getting absorbed in the head noise and the external noise right now. Okay, let yourself come back into balance. That's all it's about. So as always, guys, if you do need some assistance with shifting any stuck old stuff, healing sessions are great. If you do want a bit more clarity what's happening for the rest of your year or moving forward in a certain area, you can also book that with me too. So thank you for tuning in. As always, let me know in the comments how this message resonates with you, and I'll speak to you next week.